Welcome to Dr. Fred Markets. This is not financial advice. Every day, billions of dollars move across markets that most people don't even know exist. Crypto, stocks, AI, the signals are there if you know where to look. And that's exactly what we do here. Let's dive in.
War just turned your safe uranium stock into a weapon. Signal 1. While everyone stares at Nvidia at $196, the real blood on the screen is NexGen Energy, ticker NXE, down 6% today at $9.09, in a year where global uranium demand is ripping higher and nuclear reactors under construction hit their highest level since before you were on TikTok. Signal 2. China just test-launched a long-range missile from a nuclear submarine, the kind of quiet flex that turns shipping lanes like the Strait of Hormuz into a dice roll and forces every serious government to ask one question: how do we keep the lights on without being energy hostage to some unstable shipping choke point? Signal 3. At the exact same time, a tanker gets lit up in the Strait of Hormuz and global markets. Shrug. S&P 500 down just 0.48% at 7,471, like, yeah, whatever, price it in. While the most geopolitically insulated baseload power source, nuclear, stays treated like a meme side quest, and the uranium miners trade like penny stocks at a roulette table. Here's the cliff. The only people taking nuclear energy seriously right now are the exact governments who never tell you what they're buying until after they've already hoarded it. So here's the connection nobody on CNBC will say out loud. AI can't exist without stupid amounts of stable electricity. Fossil fuel routes just got bullied by missiles and tankers on fire. And the only scalable, 24/7 non-weather dependent power the Pentagon, Beijing, and Brussels all quietly agree on is nuclear, which feeds on one tiny commodity, uranium. AI bras brag about compute, but compute is just electricity with better PR. Those GPU farms worshipped like techno-cathedrals are just glorified space heaters unless they're plugged into a grid that doesn't collapse every time a dictator sneezes in the Gulf. When Wall Street sells NXE on a red day while AI headlines scream, that's not efficient markets, that's ADHD. Nuclear isn't a tech bet, it's a treaty bet. Once a country decides to build or extend nuclear, that decision outlives presidents, hashtags, and most of your relationships. Reactors run for 40 to 80 years. They don't care about your election cycle drama. They care about uranium showing up on time, every time, for decades. This is the one thing you learned today. Uranium is not priced like the strategic asset it already is. The mechanism is simple and stupid. Utilities sign long-term contracts for uranium at prices that made sense years ago. When geopolitical risk spikes and new reactors come online, they scramble to sign fresh deals at higher prices. Miners with actual pounds in the ground suddenly shift from story stocks to toll booths on the entire nuclear grid.
Let's pause for a second. Ask yourself this. Do you really understand what's happening in the markets right now? Do you know how this affects your money, your savings, your future? Most people don't, and that's exactly why you're here. Let's keep going.
Look at the board. NXE bleeds 6% today, while China practices submarine missile launches and oil tankers burn. That is the market yelling, we can't process more than one headline at a time. Good. Distraction is the only real edge a normal investor still gets. Here's how this plays out. First, AI data centers and governments quietly lock in long-term power purchase agreements with nuclear-heavy grids because wind and solar alone can't run 24/7 inference for your dopamine drip apps. Second, utilities realize their uranium coverage is too thin for the build-out they already committed to, and they rush to secure supply before their competitors do. Third, miners with credible projects, not vibes, get dragged from ignored to national security asset status, and their cash flows get repriced like infrastructure, not lottery tickets. Action time, and this is not financial advice, but here is the truth. You either treat uranium as a core piece of the energy future, or you are implicitly betting the world abandons both AI and geopolitical sanity. Good luck with that second one. 3 concrete steps. 1. Learn the fuel cycle, not a vibe check, an actual process. Uranium ore, conversion, enrichment, fabricated fuel rods, reactor. Understand where the bottleneck is and where your stock sits in that chain. If you don't know that, you're not investing, you're gambling. 2. Map uranium exposure like a grown-up. That means one pure play uranium ETF or basket for diversification. One or two higher quality developers or producers, not the loudest ticker on Reddit, but projects with real resources, permits in progress, and jurisdictions that aren't active war zones. NXE sits in this bucket, which is why its May 6.1% on a war day is interesting, not terrifying. 3. Treat uranium like you treat a mortgage, not a meme. Multi-year horizon, position size small enough that a 50% drawdown doesn't wreck you, and entries scaled over time instead of YOLOing on a red or green candle. The risk is brutal, but so is the asymmetry if nuclear quietly becomes non-negotiable infrastructure for both AI and national defense. The world just told you what it values: secure power, secure shipping, secure data. Oil routes are on fire, chips are in a bubble, uranium is still in the bargain bin. This is not financial advice, but ignoring nuclear in a world arming submarines and training AI is willful ignorance. If you learned something new, subscribe, because tomorrow we're ripping apart another safe narrative that keeps you poor. This is not financial advice. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and check the links in the first comment below.
That's a wrap for today on Dr. Fred Markets. I hope this gave you something to think about, a new angle, a clearer picture, a better question to ask. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, always. If this video added value to your day, subscribe. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it's the best way to support this work and keep it free for everyone. You'll also find every video as a full article on the blog, drfredmarkets.com, and the newsletter is in the bio. I'm Dr. Fred Markets. See you in the next one.